Chapter 212, Genetic Base Points Development Level. Why? Do you think the difference is huge? Looking at Zhu Tui's shocked expression, Luo Shifeng knocked on the table exaggeratedly. 30 years ago, I activated 7 genetic base points that were related to speed. Without any cultivation goals, I continuously trained my reaction speed for 30 years, including my muscle reaction speed. If you manage to catch up to me in a month, I can jump from the building of the Neurology Research Center. Mr. Luo, this building only has 7 floors. You won't die if you jump. Luo Shifeng, who was lamenting, was suddenly tongue-tied. Damn it, why did he suddenly want to beat someone up? Mr. Luo, we both activated 8 genetic base points that are related to reaction speed. Why is there such a huge difference of 10 times? Before Luo Shifeng was about to beat him up, Zhu Tui immediately changed the topic. He even asked the correct question. Luo Shifeng's raised eyebrows and mustache slowly drooped. He pointed at the empty cup unhappily. Zhu Tui quickly stood up and filled Luo Shifeng's cup with hot water. He also threw a few dates in for Luo Shifeng. Zhu Tui, in the past few decades, there has been a theory that has not been widely proven. This theory says that the activation of genetic base points is only the beginning, not the end. Many of our current cultivators' theories aim to activate a certain genetic base point or a set of genetic ability chains. After activating it, we had achieved our goals and reached the destination. However, according to some elders in the genetic transmutation realm, the activation of a genetic base point should only be the starting point and not the end. This theory has appeared in many abilities, but it has not become a systematic theory, Luo Shifeng said. Zhu Tui frowned slightly when he heard that. Mr. Luo, the activation of genetic base points is only the beginning, not the end. Why do I feel that it's a little confusing? Are you saying that the activation of genetic base points is just the beginning of cultivation? Zhu Tui felt that he had grasped something, but he could not express it accurately. That's right, Luo Shifeng nodded. Actually, there's a more professional term. Genetic base point development level. Genetic base point development level? When Zhu Tui heard this, he felt that his previous thoughts had suddenly become clear. He immediately understood. To put it more simply, it's the development level of genetic base points. According to the personal cultivation insights of some genetic evolvers and genetic transmutation experts, the development of a genetic base point might only be about 10% after the initial activation. After that, during the long cultivation and usage of related abilities, this genetic base point might be continuously developed and strengthened. However, the development and strengthening process was very slow. Time units could be measured in 5, 10, or even a dozen years. Once it accumulated to a certain extent, the relevant abilities might increase exponentially or even produce earth-shattering changes. A brand new genetic chain ability might even appear. This is the only way to explain why I have the same number of genetic base points as you. But the difference in reaction speed is more than 10 times. At the same time, only this theory could explain why many very ordinary genetic newcomers would suddenly advance by leaps and bounds. After focusing on an ability for 20 to 30 years or more, obtaining an ability that was almost legendary. Unfortunately, this theory is only a theory so far. It can't form recognized scientific research results, Luo Shifeng said. Didn't many experts discover it? Why haven't there been any results? Zhu Tui asked in surprise. The difficulty of reproducing is too great. The time span is too great for many people to accept. Moreover, there might not be any results if we persist. There were many factors that affected the strong. For example, the mutation after using the genetic mutation elixir, the direct genetic evolution, and so on. At this point, Luo Shifeng smiled bitterly. For example, I can be considered a persistent person in this aspect. I firmly believed that the neural reaction speed type had a powerful genetic chain ability and had been focusing on it for almost 30 years. But there's still nothing. At this point, Luo Shifeng suddenly raised his eyebrows and pointed at Zhu Tui as he scolded, I've worked hard for 30 years. If I let you catch up in a month, why wouldn't I jump off a building? I'll jump from the 56th floor of the office building in our school. I don't believe that I won't die from the fall. Luo Shifeng became angry when he thought about how he had been called out by Zhu Tui. Zhu Tui quickly smiled apologetically and pushed the teacup over. "Mr. Luo, why are you angry with me? Have some water first." Luo Shifeng turned his head and snorted coldly. This stunned Zhu Tui. "Damn it, old Luo, how dare you put on airs? You're forcing me to use my ultimate move." "Mr. Luo, the reason I asked you out today is to discuss with you about the 9th reaction type genetic base point," Zhu Tui said. "I'm not in the mood." Luo Shifeng, who had been called out by Zhu Tui earlier, was like an enraged woman at this moment. He rejected Zhu Tui mindlessly. However, he was stunned the moment he spoke. Then, Luo Shifeng pushed the glass of water in front of him to the side at lightning speed and leaned toward Zhu Tui. "What did you just say?" "The 9th one, the 9th reaction type genetic base point. You discovered it again? Or did you sense it?" Luo Shifeng fired a barrage of questions. "Mr. Luo, didn't you say that you were not in the mood? Scram! You've become bolder recently. How dare you make fun of me? Which freshman doesn't tremble in fear when they see me? How dare you make fun of me? Hurry up! I'm already anxious," Luo Shifeng said anxiously. A moderate joke would help increase intimacy. Of course, Zhu Tui knew his limits. If the joke went too far, it might hurt their relationship. "Mr. Luo, I won't hide it from you. I did find the 9th genetic base point related to reaction speed," Zhu Tui said seriously. "Really? When did you discover it? Is there any progress in your research?" "Mr. Luo, don't scold me. Actually, when I discovered the 8th reaction type genetic base point in my introspection, I also discovered the 9th reaction type genetic base point. However, I didn't have any experience back then, so I couldn't be sure. That's why I didn't say anything," Zhu Tui said. "I understand." As Luo Shifeng nodded, he stood up a little anxiously and paced back and forth. "So what you're telling me now is that you want to continue working with me to locate and reproduce it to form a scientific research theory?" "That's right. However, I've already done the positioning. I've already found a special spot that can stimulate the 9th reaction type genetic base point. I was using the sectional stimulation plan for the 8th reaction type genetic base point that you had previously given me. It was the remaining unfinished experimental plan. I've only done a portion of it over the past few days, but I've already found a special stimulation location," Zhu Tui said. "Done? So you found it?" Luo Shifeng was in a daze. "In that case, I'm useless now. How about this? You tell me the positioning method of the 9th genetic base point in advance and let me try it first. I can't wait any longer. As for the research results this time, you can enjoy them alone." "Mr. Luo," Zhu Tui's voice suddenly rose an octave. "I'm telling you because I want to work with you and ask you to help me solve the remaining problems. To be honest, whether it's forming this discovery into a scientific research theoretical language, a volunteer experiment, or a pioneering opening, safety assessment, effect enhancement assessment, and so on, I need your help." "Really?" Luo Shifeng was puzzled. "Of course. If I had any other thoughts, I would have activated my 9th reaction type genetic base point. Perhaps my reaction speed would have surpassed yours, and you would have jumped off a building," Zhu Tui said with a smile. "You're asking for a beating." Luo Shifeng pretended to hit him, but he sat back in his chair with a smile and anticipation. "All right, I understand what you mean. I'll take care of those troublesome matters for you. You can just sit back and enjoy the rewards and honor," Luo Shifeng said. Zhu Tui, who had been exposed, chuckled. "Mr. Luo, I'm not that evil. Let's study together." This was also the main reason why Zhu Tui looked for Luo Shifeng. If Zhu Tui really wanted to do it on his own, he might not be able to do it in half a year. Scientific research was not something that could be recognized just because you did it. After thinking for a moment, Luo Shifeng said, "The 8th genetic base point last time was also because I, the head of the neurology department, wanted the results. That's why everything was done in a hurry. Right now, I feel that we should slow down and make the research of the 9th genetic base point more detailed and solid. There was no need to find too many pioneers in the early stages. You and I will slowly explore it. We'll comprehend the process in detail. We will slow down the process. Then, we would look for other people to try to explore it," We would then look for volunteers to reproduce it. Finally, we would form a scientific research theory. The time period would be set between 1 to 2 months. How about it? Luo Shifeng said. No problem, you decide. Actually, Zhu Tui would be more than happy to slow down. If he was too fast, he would be a monster and not a genius. Alright, it's decided then. As he finalized the plan, Luo Shifeng suddenly had a complicated and uneasy expression on his face. He was looking forward to it and was also worried. Zhu Tui, do you think that our neural reaction speed type genetic base points will be able to form a complete genetic ability chain after the 9th genetic base point is activated? An ability with a reaction speed type genetic chain. This? Zhu Tui understood that Luo Shifeng actually wanted to hear an affirmative answer. However, he was not confident. He did not want to lie to give Luo Shifeng hope. If he gave him hope now, it would be true despair when it was shattered. Mr. Luo, I don't know either. We'll know when the time comes, right? If there is, it will really be a precedent. If not, let's continue to work hard, Zhu Tui said. Then I'll make a research plan. Then I'll make a basic comparison based on our reaction speed and slowly try to expand. After saying that, Luo Shifeng, who was originally full of the air of weekend leisure, and was so well-groomed that he could charm countless older ladies, turned around and started working. Zhu Tui began to think about another important question that Luo Shifeng had mentioned. Genetic base point development level, or rather, level of genetic base point development. This theory or problem was something that others could only dream of. After all, not everyone had the perseverance to persevere through years, decades, or even decades of investment. Most importantly, there might not be any results. However, it might be different for Zhu Tui. An idea had already surfaced in his mind. He could not wait to try it out when he returned to the dormitory. If this idea succeeded, it would mean a lot to Zhu Tui. Mr. Luo, I'll head back first. Seeing that it was about time, Zhu Tui bade farewell and left. He still had to deliver food to Nzhaok Saksui at 6:30.